So now the main application of boiler is to use to store the pressurized fluid medium. So either maybe it in a liquid, or either it may be in gaseous form, okay, or it may be in steam. Okay. So now boiler is consist of mainly two type of joints. So one is a circumferential joint, another one is a longitudinal joint. Okay, one is circumferential joint, another one is longitudinal joint. So where you are getting these two joints? Where you are getting these two joints? Okay. Now let us look out here. So to fabricate or to manufacture a boiler, you need an sheet here. You need an sheet, right? Suppose if the length is more, you need to go for adding some more sheets here. If the requirement of boiler length is more, you need to go for adding one more sheets, right? Now where you are getting a longitudinal joint and where you are getting a circumferential joint. Now look out here. Now to form a cylinder, you need to wrap this one into a circular form. That means you need to fold, okay, the entire sheet to an cylinder, right? Now these are the edges which are to be connected or which are to be joined. Okay. Now this is one edge, another one. These edges are to be connected. So now how the connection is made? Okay. Now to connect these two ends, over here they are going to provide one cover plate. Okay. Sometimes if it is necessary, they are going to provide one more cover plate here. Okay. Then riveting is done on this joint. Okay. Then what? Riveting is done here. Now if you are using a cover plate, then what type of joint it is? Now edges to edge connection made here. Edge to edge joint ಆದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಯಾವ ಟೈಪ್ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇದೆ? ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಟು ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಜೋಡಿಸಿದರೆ ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಟು ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಇಟ್ಟು ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕವರ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದರೆ ಯಾವ ಟೈಪ್ ಜಾಯಿಂಟು? ಯಾವ ಟೈಪ್ ಜಾಯಿಂಟು? ಸುಮ್ಮ ಕೂತಿರಲ್ಲ. ಹಲೋ ರೀ
ಸರ್, ಏನು ಕೇಳವಲ್ದು ಸರ್, ಸೈಲೆಂಟಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಂದ ಸರ್, ಜೋರು ಕೇಳವಲ್ದು.
ಹಲೋ, ಈಗ
ಹಾಂ ಕೇಳಂದ ಸರ್.
ಯಾವ ಟೈಪ್ ಜಾಯಿಂಟು? ಹಲೋ ರೀ
ಸರ್, ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್.
ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಟು ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಜಾಯಿಂಟು. ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಟು ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಯಾವ ಜಾಯಿಂಟು? ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಟು ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್? ಪ್ರತೀಕ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ 2 ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ? ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಟು ಬಾಯ್ಲರ್ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಗೂಗಲ್ ಮೀಟಿಗೆ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಇಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡೋದು, ಹೌದಾ? ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಂದ ಬಂದು ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡೋದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಕ್ಸಿಟ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಬಹುಶಃ. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ 3-4 ವರ್ಷ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀರ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ನಮ್ದಂಕರು ಹೇಳೋದಿರ್ತದೆ, ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, now if the edge to edge is connected, okay, and cover plate is placed over it, okay, so then this is called as a butt joint. This is called as a butt joint. Okay, now so the joint which is going to be done, the joint is going to be done along the edges of the plate, okay, along the edges of the plate is called as a longitudinal joint, is called as a longitudinal joint. So this longitudinal joint is always a butt joint, always butt joint. Okay, so sometimes they may be going to use a single cover, okay, and double cover. Okay, if they have gone for double cover, then these are the unequal cover plates here. These are unequal cover plates, right? So if you gone for single cover plate, you are going to put only one cover plate at the top portion, okay, not at the bottom portion. If it is a case of double cover, then the cover plates are unequal. Okay. Now, as I said, if the required length is more, okay, if the required length is more, again you need to join one more shell here. Again you need to join one more shell. Now joining of this peripheral portion, okay, joining of this peripheral portion is called as a circumferential joint, is called as circumferential joint, right? So now the circumferential joint is always a lap joint here, always lap joint. Okay, so you can just look out here. Okay, so now this is what, now in this case this is a butt joint here. Over they have top, they have used one cover plate here. Okay, over top they have used one cover plate. So now you just look out here. Now in this case the surfaces are overlapped here, surfaces are overlapped. This is called as a circumferential joint. Okay, this is called as a circumferential joint. Okay, now joint which is made here, okay, joint which is made here, just look out here. Now this is an practical example of a boiler. The joint which is made along its length is called a longitudinal joint. Longitudinal joint. So now these are the pipes here. Now these are the pipes, okay, so which are connected with the help of butt joint here. Okay, butt joint. So now if you look at the connection here, now it is what a double riveted. We don't know what is inside the cover, whether it is there or not. Now it is what a double riveted butt joint, double riveted single cover butt joint, right? Now they have gone for circumferential joint. Okay, but for especially boiler design, okay, boiler design, circumferential joint is of lap joint. Okay, longitudinal joint is of butt joint. Okay, so you can just look out in data handbook. Okay, I think data handbook. Okay, data handbook is missing. Reverse right. Now here, just look out. Now this is a case of boiler joint. Okay, so now this is what a longitudinal joint here. This is what a longitudinal joint. Now this is of unequal cover plates here. This is of unequal cover plate. You can just look out here, dashed line here. This is bottom cover plate, two continuous lines here. Okay, this is what top cover plate. If you look over the orientation of the rivets, it is of in a zigzag nature. It is of a zigzag nature. Now if you can just look out here. Now the pitch distance is here, there is too much. Okay, now you can just observe here, exactly half inside, outside it is a, again outside it is a 2 times here. Suppose if you consider, now you just look out here, pitch. Okay, now here to here it is one pitch. Okay, here to here it is the actual pitch. Now within this pitch, how many number of rivets are going to come into picture? For design purpose, you need to consider. Now here it is only one. If you come here, you are going to get a 2 rivets, but if you come here 1 2 3 4, okay, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, okay, you are going to get a 8 rivets here. You are going to get a 8 rivets here, right? Totally how many number of rivets you got here? 11 rivets, right? Now this is about quadruple riveted butt joint, butt and double strap joint here. Quadruple means you just look at one row, second row, third row and fourth row. Now exactly it is a mirror image on other side. Mirror image on other side. If you consider a line here, it's what edges have been joined. So now it is what exactly mirror image here. Okay. Now coming to this one. Okay. Now in this case it's equal width. In this case it is equal width. Now triple riveted butt joint and double strap joint. Triple riveted. Now look out 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now coming to the here also. So now it's a saw type here. Now it is a saw type. That means so the upper plate is of a saw nature. Upper plate is a saw nature. If you consider the rivets here, their rivets are also placed in saw nature here. Okay. Now normally, as I said, they are going to prefer either this one or either this one, right, for design of boiler joints. Now just look out here. Now here you have a continuous rivets here. Now this is what lap joint. This is what lap joint, which is going to be connected to circumference of the other cylinder, right? Okay. So one page is missing here. So exactly what is the page number here? Page number 83, 82, 80, 81, 79. On 78 page, if you have a data handbook, you just look out on page number 78. They have given all diagrams here. They have given all diagrams. So how the joining is going to be done, what type of riveting is used, they have given some pictorials. So you can just refer those pictures for understanding of riveted joints. Okay. Now let us go for here. Now how the design is done for boiler joint. How the design is done for boiler joint. Okay. So first you need to find out what is the plate thickness required. First you need to find out what is the plate thickness required for particular boiler. Okay. For particular boiler. Okay. Now you just note down design procedure for boiler joints. 20 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾವ ಬಾಯ್ಲರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂತಂದ್ರೆ 5 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ 10 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ 20 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಟ್ ಡೌನ್. ಸೊ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಬಾಯ್ಲರ್ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್. Okay, so first you need to design longitudinal joint. First you need to design longitudinal joint. Next you need to design circumferential joint. You need to design circumferential joint. Okay, so note down first, for design of longitudinal joint, what is the steps you need to follow. Okay. So we'll go for design of longitudinal joint. So in this first step, you need to find out the thickness of plate required. Okay, thickness of plate required. Okay, or plate thickness, plate or shell thickness. Now refer design data handbook. Okay, so notify equation number. You notify equation number 5.1. Okay, notify equation number 5.1. So now T equal to, okay, T equal to Pi capital D efficiency sigma T into 2 times of, okay, efficiency into T. Now you go for plus 1 mm adding. Okay, plus 1 mm adding. So 1 mm is added to have the corrosion allowance. Okay, so 1 mm is to add for corrosion allowance. Okay, let us note down. So where Pi equal to fluid pressure, okay, and this is what in Newton per mm square. Next, capital D is diameter of boiler, diameter of boiler. Okay, next, so sigma T sorry, is allowable tensile strength of plate okay. Neta is efficiency of joint, efficiency of joint. Okay, so as I said 1 mm add 1 mm for corrosion resistance or corrosion allowance. Okay, right. So now if they have not specified the efficiency of the joint, so you need to select efficiency of the joint based on the type of joint they have specified, whether they have specified it is a double rooted lap joint or triple rooted lap joint, or whether it is a double rooted butt joint or triple rooted butt joint or single rooted butt joint. So based on that one, as well as okay, so based on that one you need to select the efficiency, or you can select efficiency based on the diameter of pressure vessel also. Okay, So now efficiency, you refer design data handbook, so refer table number. Okay, we'll just go for efficiency. Okay, now you just look out here, table number 5.1. Table number 5.1. How? Suppose if a single rooted lap joint, so you need to check out how many number of rivets are going to come into picture. 1, then efficiency is range from, so 40 to 60, right? Then if it is a double rooted lap joint, then the efficiency range is 60 to 72. If it is a triple row, 70 to 82. Next, if it is a butt joint, single row butt joint with 2 cover plates here, all are 2 cover plates. You need to check out how many number of rivets are going to come into picture. Suppose if it is coming a 4 number of rivets, then you can select efficiency from 85 to 94. It is a range in between, you can select here. Let us take an example. Now we have a double row butt joint with 2 cover plates. Now efficiency is range 72 to 80, 72 to 82. Now I will go for 80 here. Okay, 80 as the efficiency, right? So here you can select. You can select from table number 5.1. Okay. Next, once you got the plate thickness, then you need to find out diameter of rivet hole. Okay, you need to find out diameter of rivet hole. Okay. Next, you note on step 2. That's given. Okay, step 1. Step 2. Diameter of rivet hole and rivet. Okay, so now you refer design data handbook. So you refer equation number 5.7. I think you just check it equation. That is what Unwin's formula. Unwin's formula for diameter of hole, DH equal to 0.072 6.22 times of root T. Okay. Now, once you got the diameter of rivet hole, okay, so now DH stands for rivet hole. Okay, so D stands for rivet diameter. Okay. Next, after calculation of diameter of rivet hole and rivet, so next step is you need to find out the pitch here. You need to find out the pitch. So now this pitch has to be again based on 2 criteria. So one is using general expression. Okay, so that is what P equal to N1 plus 1.875 N2 into pi d square into tau divided by 4 T sigma T plus dH. Okay, and based on IBR also, that is what P equal to, so K1 T plus 41 mm. Okay, so now compare both pitches. Okay, so now adopt a minimum pitch. Right. Now once the pitch you have calculated, next you need to find out, so transverse pitch. So what is the transverse pitch? Already you have noted, you refer design data handbook. Okay, so equation number equation number 5.13. Okay, equation number 5.13. As I said, you can adapt go for these using these equations also. According to IBR, you can go for, according to ASM, you can go for. Okay, so now general practice is what? It is a 5.13a. Okay, that is what a general practice. Okay. Right. Next, now you calculate margin here. Now you calculate margin. Okay. So once you done all these things, next you need to go for calculation of efficiency. Now you need to go for calculation of efficiency. So how you are going to get the efficiency? First you need to find out strength of solid plate. Refer design data handbook. So notify equation. So 5.6a. Okay. Next, strength of plate in tearing. Refer design data handbook. Notify equation number 5.6b. Okay. Next, so strength of rivets in shearing. So refer design data handbook, equation number 5.6d. Okay. Now strength of rivet in crushing. Okay, so design data handbook. So note on equation number 5.6e. Okay, 5.6e. So now efficiency is what? So lowest strength, okay, divided by strength of solid plate. Strength of solid plate, okay, into 100, you will get in terms of efficiency. Okay. Now this procedure is for a longitudinal joint. This procedure for longitudinal joint. Okay. So next you need to go for design of circumferential joint. Okay. Now in this case you need to find out what is the force exerted by the steam over the rivets, okay, over the rivets in circumferential direction. In circumferential direction, that is what in circumferential joint. Okay. So now how? Now look out. So now in longitudinal joint what happens? So it is going to split the cylinder in this manner. Okay, this is what in longitudinal joint. But in case of circumferential joint, okay, I will go for same. In case of circumferential joint, so now if this is a circumferential joint here, it tried to break out in this direction. Okay, it tried to break out in this direction. Okay. Now how? This joint has to sustain, so the force exerted by the steam, force exerted by the steam or fluid medium. Okay. Now as the riveting has to be done, so same diameter of rivet is going to be used for longitudinal joint as well as for circumferential joint. Okay, because plate thickness is same. Just keep in mind. So diameter of rivet is same for longitudinal as well as circumferential joint. Okay, because h is same, that is t is same here, thickness is same. Okay. Now, what do you need to do here? Next step, you need to find out what is the total steam load. You calculate first total steam load. So, you need to remember this formula. Okay. So, total steam load F equal to pi by 4, okay, di square into pi, right? You are going to get the steam load. Next, you need to find out strength of rivets in each case. Next is strength of rivet in shear. Okay, let us go for shear. Now it is only one rivet. Okay, now strength of rivet in crushing. Okay. So, now how will you find out the strength of rivet in shear? This is what, pi by 4 into d square into tau. Now, this is what, pi d t into sigma c. Okay. This is what, a strength in, so not a pi, it is only d. Okay, dtc, pi by 4 d square into tau. Now, next thing is that you need to find out number of rivets required to make the joint. Okay, number of number of rivets required to make the joint. Okay. So, now number of rivets required to make the joint. Okay, let us go for this as a capital N here. Okay, this is equal to total steam load, okay, minimum of shear or crushing strength. ಇಲ್ಲೇನಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿವೆಟ್ ಇನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿವೆಟ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ರಷಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇವೆರಡು ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಕಂಪೇರಿಂಗ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟು, ಸೊ ನಾವು ಯು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಈಗ ಶೇರದ್ದು 100 ಬಂದಿತ್ತು, ಕ್ರಷಿಂಗದ್ದು 110 ಬಂದಿತ್ತು, ದೆನ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ 100. Okay, then you go for 100. Okay. Now, once you got the total number of rivets, so then you need to go for rivets per row. Okay, how many number of rivets you need to place in a row. Okay, so now this is equal to so total number of rivets. Okay, total number of rivets divided by number of rows divided by number of rows, which will give you the rows per rivets. Okay. Now you keep in mind this circumferential joint is minimum requirement is double riveted lap joint. If they are not specified, okay, then you must go for number of rivets as a 2. Number of rivets as a 2, right? Next, you need to find out pitch for circumferential joint. Pitch for circumferential joint. Okay. So now this pitch for circumferential joint is circumference of cylinder divided by number of rivets per row. Okay. This is what pi d. Okay. Circumference is pi d. Divided by n dash. Okay. Once you got this one, then you go for efficiency. Now efficiency is same again. Strength of solid plate. Now in this case you are going to get a different strength of solid plate because you are going to get the change in pitch here. Pitch for circumferential joint is different, pitch for longitudinal joint is different. Okay. Next, to find out strength of rivet in shear. Okay. Now strength of plate in tearing, or tearing strength of plate. Next is crushing strength of rivets. Okay. Then you go for minimum here again. Okay. Then you compare these three, then you select here minimum value. Okay. Then you find out efficiency. Okay. So you need to follow this procedure. Okay. You need to follow this procedure. Okay. Now you have any doubts?